Dubai's government published a master plan that maps out exactly which areas will grow, which areas will be protected, and how 2.2 million more people will be housed by the year 2040. Most investors buying in Dubai right now, they have never read it, though they would have heard about it. That means that they could be making decisions based on marketing material from the developers, not based on where the city is actually heading. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which zones the 2040 master plan position for long-term capital growth and which areas are being left behind. What I'm about to show you today is not a developer's pitch, it is a data-backed breakdown of where the city-owned government is saying that the city is going. So let's get straight into it. My name is Saliq Zahoor. I'm the founder of Blog Properties. I have been working in Dubai real estate for over 14 years now. I'm an engineer by qualification and a real estate broker by passion. That combination gives me something most brokers cannot offer. I also understand the financial and trading part of the business as well as the technical side of real estate as well, which is something that stands me out from the crowd. Alongside our brokerage work, I'm also a partner in a construction business, and we have completed more than 50 renovation and extension projects in communities like Dubai Hills, District 1, Jumeirah Island, Arabian Ranches, and also Al Barari and Jumeirah Island Meadows as well, if I forgot. So what I'm sharing with you today is not advice which is I'm reading from somewhere. This is what I have done hands-on right here in the community and in the city. Here is what we are covering today. The 5 urban centers the 2040 plan defines and which and what actually each one means for investors. The 60% green reserve commitment, why this is most important line in the old document, and the infrastructure corridor, Metro Blue Line, Metro Gold Line, Etihad Rail, Hessa Street Extension, and then how some communities they fit into this map, and finally the 3 zones I back and the 2 I would avoid right now. So 2040 plan is built around 5 urban centers. Think of them as like engine rooms of this city. Everything else, the residential communities and the green corridor, the nature reserve, is actually designed to serve these 5 hubs. Center 1, Deira and Dubai. This is the original city, the culture and the commercial heart. The plan prioritizes heritage, tourism and mixed use. Center 2 is downtown and business bay, where I am based right now. This stays the prime business and luxury core. No surprise here, it is already the most land constrained zone in Dubai. Center 3, Marina and MBR Strip. The plan focuses this area on tourism and lifestyle, great for short-term rental investors, but not where I see the biggest capital appreciation. Then Center 4 is Expo City. This is the most interesting one. The plan position Expo as the future knowledge and innovation district. The infrastructure is already there. The question is whether the commercial demand catches up or no. And I will come back to this one specifically as well. And then 5 is DSO or Dubai Silicon Oasis. Technology and industrial focus, relevant for commercial investors, less relevant for luxury residential. Here is the key insight for these 5 centers. They are all established locations, not their new ones. And the 2040 plan is not about creating new hubs, it's about densifying and upgrading existing ones. That means the communities around these centers are the ones that benefit the most. Which brings me to the most important policy in the entire 2040 document. The 2040 plan, it actually commits to preserving 60% of Dubai's total land area as natural reserve and open spaces. Read that again, 60%. That means roughly 40% of Dubai's land is available for built environment, and a significant portion of that 40% is already developed. The implication for investors is straightforward. Dubai is not going to build its way out of supply problems. The zoning restrictions are real, the land is finite. Now, the oversupply narrative you hear about Dubai is also not wrong, but it is not uniform. You cannot generalize that opinion. The truth is that there is oversupply in a specific mid-market communities like JVC, Urjan, Silicon Oasis, Business Bay, International City. Have I forgot something? Yeah, some of them. And that is where the pen will be felt. What the 60% reserve commitment does actually, it is going to protect the premium end of market and communities that sit inside or adjacent to planned green corridors. MBR City, Maidan, Nadal Shiba, they have natural ceiling on nearby supply. I've seen this pattern in my own portfolio work. The villas that hold value through corrections are always the ones with constrained supply nearby. 2040 plan is essentially codifying what the market has already been telling us. Here is what it gets really interesting for investors. Property markets in every city follows infrastructure. I used to call them macro fundamentals. It always have, it always will. 2040 plan lays out exactly where Dubai is building its next generation of connectivity. First, Metro Blue Line. This is the new metro line being built to connect Creek Harbor, Festival City, and existing Red and Green Line. The route passes through emerging communities on the eastern corridor. Metro connectivity historically adds 15 to 25% to residential values in Dubai if we see historically. Blue Line station are already partially mapped. This is not a speculation. This is infrastructure that is already under construction. And while I'm recording this video, Metro Golden Line has already been announced as well, and it is going to be similar to London Tube, an underground railway track. Next is Etihad Rail. This is the national rail network which is connecting Abu Dhabi on the west to Dubai, Sharjah to the eastern and northern Emirates. The passenger phase has already opened the corridors that will make inter-emirate living genuinely practical, which is actually happening in Japan right now, and it is already reshaping how developers price land near the interchange station. Is the Hessa Street upgrade. This is a major arterial road expansion running through Jumeirah, Village Circle, Al Barsha, goes all the way onto Sheikh Zayed Road, Media City. It directly improves accessibility to communities that currently suffer from traffic congestion. And along Hessa, I would also see the parallel street which has already been improved is Sukem Street as well. And the reduced commute time means higher residential demand. And here is what I tell every Paris investor. Before you buy anywhere in Dubai, check the transport corridor map. And if the area you are considering sit within 500 meters of a planned metro station or a major road upgrade, that is a macro fundamental or a structural tailwind, not just marketing. So let me spend a moment here on an area because it directly affects the area where I specialize and focus on, apart from focusing on renovation and new development. MBR City District 1, it sits on where I would call a sweet spot, and it's a sweet spot of 2040 master plan, especially after the announcement of Metro Golden Line. This master plan is between downtown Dubai, the primary commercial core, and the Maidan growth corridor. It is adjacent to Ras Al Khor Natural Reserve to the east, which is protected green land, and now it is connected to Business Bay via Al Khail Road, one of Dubai's primary arteries. When you look at 2040 zone classification, MBR is specifically designed as a mixed-use urban growth node. The classification means new development will be permitted but extremely regulated and controlled density, not a free-for-all you see in some outer communities. The 60% green reserve commitment also matters here, and also you can verify that in MBR City when Nadal Shiba Garden master plan is launched with massive green spaces, etc., and also Dubai Hills Estate, which is a prime example. Coming to District 1, the lagoon at District 1 is the largest man-made lagoon in the world, is classified as open water and green space. You cannot build on that, you cannot develop around it beyond current available land supply, which is extremely finite, and this is permanent supply restriction built directly into 2040 master plan. All right, let's be direct. Based on 2040 plan, based on the infrastructure commitments, and based on what we are observing now on ground, these three zones I would position in for a multi-year hold, if I would say in our language, medium to long-term perspective. Zone 1 is this opposite to downtown, MBR City District 1, that corridor which is positioned between downtown and the green corridor. Supply constrained by design, massive macro fundamentals, lagoon view communities, massive parks, green access corridors, and also accessible to Sheikh Zayed Road corridor, which is the business hub. Now, Zone 2 is actually in the similar one, but I would stick to call it the commercial core, which is Business Bay downtown, but also the same strip of Sheikh Zayed, because Sheikh Zayed is our primary commercial core. Office vacancy in this prime location is under 1%. The commercial real estate play here is as strong as it has been in decades. And then also Zone 3 3 is Creek Harbor, which is the emerging urban center that sits directly on Metro Blue Line corridor. It is underpriced relative to where the infrastructure is heading. This is a forward-looking play. And at the end, I would also like to touch the Expo side of the city, which is the south, where Dubai International Airport, which is Dubai World Central, will go. And that area, if you have a long-term perspective, that area has immense potential as well. I would be cautious about these areas as well. Now, some areas I will mention will coming to the caution one and the investing one, but the different product segment. For example, in residential side, I would avoid investing in JVC. Dubai land, some apartment communities, they have a lot of supply, not unique selling proposition in them, and it can affect your investment decisions in the medium to long term. And also Business Bay. I mentioned Business Bay previously, but I was mentioning it previously in commercial context. Here I'm mentioning it in residential context. Also, Business Bay has a lot of supply coming in. Dubai Hills Estate, when it comes to apartments, please be selective. It's a great community, incredible location, but a lot of apartment supply, 25,000 apartments more or less. So make sure that you're also cautious about them while investing. Strict to undersupply segment, strict to a community that is closer to corridor, closer to current and upcoming infrastructure. So on a holistic level, try to see you have macro and micro fundamentals in your favor. So at the end, let me bring the back 3 most important things that you need to take from this video. Number 1 is 2040 plan. It limits supply. 60% green reserve is not a target, it's a policy. Buy in areas where the supply ceiling is structural. Number 2, infrastructure precedes value. As I said before, micro in the community, macro around the community. Metro Blue Line, Gold Line, Etihad Rail, Hessa Street upgrade, Sukaim Street upgrades. These are not speculations. They are the commitment from the government to develop this infrastructure, and some of them, while I speak, is already 70-80% completed, especially when it comes to Hessa Street and Sukaim. So you need to make sure that you are buying in those areas. And last, which is location matters more in 2040 era of Dubai than at any point in the city's history. The gap between prime zone communities and unzoned mid-market areas will only widen. Make sure you're on the right side of the gap. And if you are thinking to invest in Dubai real estate, please feel free to reach out to me. My WhatsApp link is in the description. And as I say, apart from being a broker, my specific model is helping investors to buy, renovate, resell, buy, develop, and resell for profit. So my tagline would be, I help people make developer grade margin without being a developer. Thank you very much for your time, and I shall see you in the next video.